All right, YouTube, quick video. It's now being reported that Nelson Mandela has finally had the radish. He was languishing for years. He was kept sort of on display, not by his family, but by the government of South Africa, sort of like a living mummy relic. Um, the poor dude just fucking languished for years, so it was kind of ridiculous anyway. He should have been resting, and he wanted to die back in his hometown, but they wouldn't let him. They kept him in the hospital on life support for the last, what, year or 6 months or something. But anyway, here's the truth about Mandela, the ANC, and South Africa that other people will not tell you. And that's that the anti-apartheid individuals started off quite positive and wanted to, have equal rights between blacks and whites, quickly morphing into a terrorist outfit that used to attack schools, put mines out in rural roads so that farmers would hit them and die, and which to this day, these ANC thugs continue to kill rural white farmers in a genocide against the people who they see as still their oppressors, even though apartheid is long in the past. Mandela, while perhaps not personally involved with these events, was the leader of these movements, which did have violent individuals within them. It should have been classed as a terrorist movement. Apartheid did need to end. The way to do it was not simply to turn power over to other racists who in turn then hated the whites. And South Africa has reaped many sorrows as a result of the end of apartheid in the manner in which it was ended, in which now it went from marginally first world country, which was quite rich at the time, one of the few places in Africa with any real stability. The British did a fairly good job turning it into a colony without continuously, other than apartheid, without continuously abusing the natives and committing genocide as some of the other colonial powers did. And now it's falling apart. It's falling apart because a lot of the talented, educated people end up getting gunned down in the streets. There's continual racial violence, both by whites, specifically the police, against black communities, and against ANC and other groups like that, or post-pseudo-ANC groups, against white rural farmers, who they see as their natural enemy. So, man, and if you look up necklacing, then you'll find the truth about South Africa, that these groups used to take tires and put them around people's arms and light them on fire and let the person slowly asphyxiate in flames. So Mandela really is nothing special. They see him as a sort of modern messiah. All the college kids love Mandela and say, oh, he's like Guevara or any of these other people. And they were all a bunch of lunatics, all of them condoned of guerrilla warfare and terrorism. And the only reason the West turned a blind eye to that terrorism is because people back here are weeping many tears about those poor people in Africa under apartheid, which ironically worked better than the current system that they're using. It's not racist to say this. I'm simply saying the country is highly unstable. Racism is working in both directions in this country. And it's in many cases falling apart. There are a few rich communities that do well, and everything else is sort of going to pot. You see the same thing in Jacob Zuma's territory and all of these other areas of Africa where there was once at least marginal stability. Look at Rwanda, and now nothing, or former Rhodesia. And that's the sad truth that nobody really wants to say because they don't want to offend anybody. But I'm not politically correct. I don't give a shit what people say. Mandela harbored terrorists, if not was one himself. And the world is better for his passing on. And also, he's a complete commie. Uh, that's just my thoughts on it. So yeah, Nelson Mandela finally has gone from human mummy on display in a government setting to a corpse. Corpse Mandela now he is. I'm sure I'll get angry comments here. I don't care. Go ahead and spam the channel with hate because I'm saying the truth. Go a fucking head and do it. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. Mandela, fuck Mandela. Glad.